Hi everyone! Do your kids watch those family channels where overly dramatic and enthusiastic families document their every waking minute? I'm talking about the Tannerites, the Ninja Kids, the Fun Squad, and about a zillion more. I can't stand these channels. In fact, I can't stand them so much, I wanted to make a video telling you all the reasons why. Now, I'm no expert, I'm not a child psychologist or anything like that, but I feel like even as a regular person, I can see this is not going to end well for the kids involved. But of course, feel free to disagree with me. Make your own decisions for your family. So without further ado, here are my top 10 reasons why YouTube family channels are just the worst. Most of my reasons are about protecting the kids on these channels, so we'll start with the most basic one, which is safety concerns. There are a lot of folks who won't even share their kid's picture on their Facebook page because they're concerned with some creep finding the pictures. Now, to be fair, I think most people are decent human beings. But we can't deny that creeps do exist. And when you put your kid on the wide open internet, sharing their name, their city, their favorite activities, and everything else, you are absolutely opening your kid up to creeps and predators finding them. The risk is low, but there have been plenty of cases of YouTubers developing stalkers, so it does happen. Number 2, your kids will have an inflated sense of entitlement and self-importance. If you achieve any level of success on these channels, your kid will start seeing themselves as a mini celebrity. They'll get recognized, they'll get money. You may have folks start to work for you, like camera people or other household help, and they'll start to be surrounded with these yes people who cater to their every whim. How do you expect them to navigate adulthood when that's their worldview? Unless you're one of the extremely lucky few who end up set for life from YouTube money, your kid will have to go out and find a job one day. A real job where they aren't in charge of everything. I don't think that's going to go well. But that brings me to the next topic, which is number 3, the low chance of success. It seems like we see a lot of these successful family channels, but for every one we see do well, there are hundreds that don't make it. It's much more likely that you'll suck your kid into hours of filming and pretending and never generate a following. Your kids will see other families being successful while they start to see themselves as a failure. So on top of all the negative things I'm describing here, you won't even get to experience any of the positive aspects of success. The next one is one of my biggest pet peeves, and that is having to fake your feelings. Real kids have real bad days. They're grumpy, they're rude, they want to hide in their room all day. If you're a YouTube kid, you don't get to be a real kid. There's always a camera in your face and you're supposed to act excited to be there. Kids need to feel their feelings, or they'll grow up to be adults with no emotional regulation or ability to process negative feelings. At number 5, we have the lack of privacy. Everyone will know everything about you. Now, I'm a full-grown adult and I don't even show my face on my channel. I don't necessarily want you guys to know my name and be able to Google me and know all the details about my life. And this is way more important for a kid. Any one of you guys watching who have kids who have gotten towards the teenage years, you know how kids really value their privacy, as they should. On a similar note, at number 6 is the idea that they have to live very private moments in public. These family channels share everything. Good news, bad news, getting hurt, getting sick. It's all great content, right? Can you imagine having something really bad happen to you and getting a camera shoved in your face? That would be such a nightmare. And if the thing that happened was embarrassing, now the whole world knows about it. This kind of goes back to that idea of having to fake your feelings as well. When you feel sick or sad as a kid, you shouldn't have to fake that everything's okay. It's okay not to feel okay. We're more than halfway done, so let me cover a couple reasons that aren't about the kids in the videos themselves, but rather about your kids who watch the channels. Number 7, your kids will have an unrealistic view of how families are supposed to be. Families are messy, families are boring, families get into fights, families have bad days. You won't see any of these things on the YouTube family channels. So your kid will look at your own family and think something's wrong with it. Why aren't you doing constant challenges and guest days and exciting trips? Well, because you're a normal family. The second reason these channels are bad for your kids to watch is the unrealistic expectations about success and money. I think almost every kid nowadays at some point has said they want to be a YouTuber when they grow up. I know my kids have said that. But they don't understand that only the tiniest fraction of these channels are actually successful. You can't just decide to start a YouTube channel and then go buy a Lambo. These families who are successful are A, very lucky, and B, extremely devoted to working hard on their channel and pretty much give up their whole lives to do it. In fact, one of the reasons I started this channel in the first place was to show my kids just how hard it is, how much time goes into the creating and editing content. We're almost to the end of the list here, and honestly, these last two are probably the biggest reasons. At number 9 is future regret. There are a lot of interviews with these YouTube kids where they say they don't feel coerced by their parents and they love doing YouTube. But guess what? You're a kid and you can't actually consent. Yes, 7-year-old you may love being on YouTube and think it's a great idea. But will 18-year-old you agree with that? When you're trying to get your first job or find a relationship, will you be happy about the fact that everyone can go watch you throw a temper tantrum on the internet? Think of your own childhood. Have you had that experience where your mom starts pulling out the old photo album to embarrass you in front of your boyfriend or girlfriend? Imagine that, but times a million. These kids simply don't have the perspective to know if this is something they truly want to be on the internet forever. And the final reason I don't like family channels is that the kids often end up financially supporting their parents and are put in a terrible position of being pressured to succeed. What if little Ryan from Ryan's World or that Diana girl suddenly said they wanted to stop? I don't think that channel would really work without them. Their parents are now outrageously wealthy because of their kid, and the kid absolutely knows this. They'll feel that pressure of supporting the entire family, which is never a pressure that kids should feel. We've seen cautionary tales of this happening with child stars, and YouTube is no different. Well, those are my 10 reasons. I'm sure there are even more. What do you guys think? Do you watch these channels? Would you ever want to be a YouTube family? Believe me, I get the idea of fortune and fame is enticing, but I just think there are a lot of negatives to consider as well. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and what YouTube families are your least favorite. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews of what channels, shows, and games are okay for your kids. See you next time.